Let's look at the advocacy threats. We say the advocacy threats arise when you try to promote the client's position, like defending maybe the client when they're having a dispute, maybe with URA, things like that, or like marketing the client, things like that. Those are the advocacy threats. You advocate for the client. So the formula here we have is CACA, CACA. So the first C is for corporate financial services. The A is assistance in tax disputes. C is commenting publicly on client's matters. Then the last A is acting as a client advocate. So they are only four. So we shall look at each of them in details. We look at the threat, the effect, and the safeguard. So the first one is assistance in the resolution of tax disputes of the audit client. Like you help the client to solve the problems that they have, maybe with URI. So the effect it has is that auditors may be seen to support their clients in court, which may limit their objectivity. Yeah, like if they support their client in court, and then at the same time there will be the same people to evaluate the financial statements, they may not be able to give the correct opinion because they do not want to go against themselves. In case they find error or in case they detect fraud, they may not be able to report it because they were the same people that were defending the same client. So it will limit their objectivity. So the safeguard here is that an audit firm may provide assistance in the resolution of tax disputes of audit clients in some cases, provided the sufficient safeguards in place. So an audit firm can assist an audit client in case the safeguards around the limitations or guidelines to follow. Then the second safeguard is that an audit firm is not allowed to act as an advocate in a tax dispute for an audit client before a tax tribunal or court where the amounts involved are material to financial statements. So in case the money in the case that is being handled is considered material to the financial statements, that audit firm is not allowed to get involved in such matters. Yeah, so those are the two safeguards to that threat of assistance in the resolution of tax disputes. Sorry about that. Yeah, those are the two safeguards. They can provide assistance if there are sufficient safeguards in place. Then they are not allowed to advocate in case the amounts involved are material to financial statements. Then the second advocacy threat is corporate financial services, including assisting the audit client in developing corporate strategies, advising on asset disposal or raising. So in case the audit firm, like KPMG, starts giving advice to MTN on what they are supposed to do, like the strategies that they should adopt, the assets that they should acquire, the assets that they should dispose of, and then and then it will be that same audit firm to evaluate the financial statements. It will limit their objectivity since they were the advisors, since they were the same people that helped them to come up with the strategies to dispose of some assets and acquire some. So even when they detect error and fraud, they'll not point it out. So the effect it has is that auditors may be seen to support their client, which may limit their objectivity in relation to audit work. The safeguard here, how it can be avoided, is that an assurance firm, which is the audit firm, is not allowed to promote, deal, or underwrite shares for an audit client. It's not supposed to deal in underwriting shares. It's like issuing shares to the public. So it's not allowed to participate in such activities. Then another safeguard is that corporate finance advice should not be provided where effectiveness of the advice depends on a particular accounting treatment or presentation in the financial statements, and the outcome will have a material effect on the financial statements. So if the advice being given will have a material effect on the financial statements, it should not be provided. Then another safeguard is that other corporate financial services like advice on financial strategies may be provided, but different staff should be used. Like the people that provide the corporate finance advice or services should not be included in the audit team. They should be different. Hope you get that. So those are the 3 safeguards when it comes to corporate financial services. First is that the audit firm is not allowed to promote, deal, or underwrite shares for an audit client. Then, if the corporate financial advice is provided on things that have material effects on financial statements, it should not be taken. Then, the people that provide the corporate finance services should not be included in the audit team. Then another threat is commenting publicly on the client's future events. In case they post events and then you as the audit firm, you start commenting and all that, maybe on their website or social media, and you start commenting on their events, the effect it has is that the auditor may be seen to be biased in favor of the client. Like, you're not supposed to have social relationships. So the auditors may be seen to be biased in favor of the client, so they may end up being subjective. So the safeguard here is that auditors should not make any comment on the client's future events. They should not act like their friends. Yeah, that's the only safeguard. Then the last one is acting as an advocate of the audit client in litigation or disputes with the third parties. Like, in case MTN is having an issue in court and then KPMG comes in to defend MTN in court. So auditors may be seen to support their client, which will limit their objectivity in relation to audit work. Yeah, they will be creating a relationship, things like that. So they will be seen to support their client and it will limit their objectivity during work. So the safeguard here is that an audit An audit firm, let me allow me edit this. An audit firm. So the safeguard here is that an audit firm should not act in an advocacy role for an audit client in resolving a dispute or litigation when the amounts involved are material to financial statements. So in case the amounts involved in that case, in that particular case that is being handled by the client, is material to financial statements, the audit firm is not allowed to get involved in such cases. Then the second safeguard is that where amounts are not material to the financial statements, the firm should apply safeguards like using personnel who are not on the audit team to perform the services. So the people that maybe go to defend MTN in court, things like that, are not supposed to be involved in the audit team. And that only applies when the amounts in the case are considered not material to the financial statements. But if they are material, they are not allowed to get involved. Then the last safeguard is that the code does not allow the appointment of a partner or employee of the firm as an audit client's lawyer. So you should not appoint any partner or employee of the firm as the lawyer of the client. So those are the three safeguards when it comes to acting as an advocate of an audit client in litigation or disputes with third parties. And those are the advocacy threats. They are only for